everybody. We're going to do another resume review. Today it will be resume review number 7. So let me get the screen shared for you. Let's take a look at this resume and let's go. All right. So from the top, so just at a glance, good format, right? This is what I've been talking about, these kind of things. So name up top, we got phone, email. Again, I've been seeing this a lot, people. Full address on the resume, please. We really need, if you want to have a more de-identified one to put out in different places, that's fine. But you should not have, not a full address on here for applying for jobs. So make sure you have your full address on there, your full current address, because this is probably how they're going to contact you. And believe it or not, I've had resumes where people's contact information has not been accurate or updated. And they're applying for jobs with it. So please make sure that's up to date. Okay, so flight experience. But before I get to that, I want to make sure they're qualified for the job, right? So if we're looking at this as an airline or flight instructor interview, looks like this one will probably be some sort of time building job. They have a CFI, so we'll kind of talk about that, right? So let's see, they are a commercial pilot, single engine land, a multi-engine land, instrument airplane. To save you some space, you could combine all of that if you wanted. ASEL, AMEL, comma, IA. But your columns would be a little messed up. So that's fine if you did it like this to make it look even. Totally fine. You have the space. So I like the format. So don't touch it, but I'm just saying you can if you want to. You have a CFI, a CFII, and this person also has an aircraft dispatcher license, and it looked like that's what they've been doing up until this point. So we'll take a look at that. But that's good. I mean, I always say put everything you have there, right? All your FAA certifications. I've seen pilots who are A&Ps. And that's all great, right? Because the more well-rounded and expanded your knowledge is, the better. So yes, put it on there. If you have any FAA certificate, put it on there. And then we've got more. This person has a first class medical and they have a U.S. passport and it's current, looking like this person is very qualified, for what we're looking at. They have complex endorsement, high performance endorsement. I would say if you're not looking for a CFI job, wow, guys, it's storming here. And that was a big thunder. I don't know if you heard it. And my dogs might start going crazy because they don't like it. So bear with me, please, if it gets loud. My fur babies are always in attendance, usually when I'm filming in my office. So, but what I was saying was a complex and high performance endorsement. If you're applying to an airline, take that off. They don't really care about that. You probably, if you've got the time, for ATP, then you have the time. And you have those endorsements. So far it looks really good here. I see everything here. The only question I would have, actually, when I look at the hours, then it eliminates that question, is do they have their ATP, CTP completed? Obviously, if this person has 259 hours, they probably don't. Quite impressive here. So it's interesting to me. This pilot, they have 259 hours and they have their double I, and their commercial multi. So that means that person, they hit their targets on their times. To get your commercial right at like what is it? If it's, I think it's 200, if it's 121, right? Or I'm sorry, 141 school. All these numbers floating in my head. So total time 250. So this tells me this pilot just finished training, right? Looks like they're probably freshly minted CFI. Total PIC 170. So most jobs, airline jobs, are going to look at 500. So, but these are your targets, right? This is what you're targeting, the ATP minimums. Instrument time, cross country. So of course they're going to be low. The total time's only 250, night and multi. So what I would advise this pilot is, as you're building time as a CFI, probably, be conscious, manage the types of students you have if you can, talk to your supervisor, whatever you need to do. Because what I see is people get kind of close to their ATP minimums, and sometimes they're short in these categories because you don't really get a lot of night flying in as a CFI, right? You're just getting whatever's required for the student. So, try to do night cross countries with your commercial students, a little more if you can. But my point is as CFIs, when you're time building, sometimes you can be short in some of these categories and it's hard to get that time. And that's going to be a delicate balance of students, right, in different courses in order for you to be able to get that broad, kind of spectrum of flight time. So far looks great. I'm liking what I see. I don't see any issues here. Resume looks pretty good. Education. Okay, we'll see how you did it here. So, I try to block out sometimes where people went to school and stuff like that. So we can't figure out who this person is. Okay, so it looks like they did most all of their training, pretty much everything but private, maybe, at this school. Here's something, put the location of your schools as well. Like, okay, this was the name of the school and here's when you attended. Great. Where? That gives us an idea of geography, what kind of weather and terrain maybe you were exposed to in training, right? That gives me an idea. Where are you in the country? Are you in a mountainous area? Probably know a lot about mountain flying. So those locations help. Okay, so don't forget to put those on there. And then this person went to IFOD for dispatch school. I'm familiar with them. Good school. I believe that's in Texas, and this person's from Texas, so that's starting to make sense, right? So they're probably, I'm going to guess that they're flying in Texas, but who knows? You can go to flight school wherever, right? So I can't make that assumption. Aviator Airs, where they did their private, but again, I don't know where that is. Give me an idea so I can at least understand where your experience lies, right? As far as weather and things like that. And then high school isn't necessary. I would remove that. Definitely put your flight school on here. So I have seen resumes that don't have flight schools on them. We're in